pretty big school district.
Yeah, so we have about 90 schools. We have around 40,000 students. We do anywhere between 1.5, 2 million a month in copies in here.
Let's go from like step one.
We uncrated it. I mean, it was pretty simple. They just unscrewed it and rolled it out. Installing was like, plugging it in.
It's pretty simple, huh?
I didn't know if there was any like stuff inside, you had to take off or anything, but you just plugged it in and it was up and running.
He went through the training process of showing you, how to run the machine and set it up for jobs and so forth. How would you describe it?
It was pretty easy. He ran it through for me in about, 20 minutes. And then my operator that's going to run the machine, Jeff, we sat with him for a little while and we both thought it was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Yeah, graphic, that works great. Yeah, no problem. I'm running a job today that's going to be on, it's all coded and it's going to have covers that are UV coated that will run separate.
Would you say you run a job? How big is a typical job for you?
I get jobs that are 30 books and then I get jobs that are 1,500. Probably between now and May, there's a few jobs that we'll do. We'll do like the general fund budget book, and we'll do a tax plan book. The bulk of our spiraling and book building is done over the summer for all the schools and stuff like that.
Before the Tornado Autopunch EX, how did you collate different tabs and covers and things into your books?
By hand. I hated tabs. So we do some with what I would call like your traditional, 5-bank tabs. We do some stuff, say it'll be a blue cover on the book. It's also got a bunch of blue sheets all throughout the book. White paper on the inside, then it's got 20-pound blue paper, then it's got cover paper in a couple sections, I guess, for a field divider. We're using the inserting for all the jobs that were a really huge pain in the rear before. I know some people might have a Xerox, and the whole thing's black and white, and they print the tabs in line. And they're like, well, I wouldn't need to insert tabs. Right. Well, for us, our color machine, it doesn't print tabs. So we UV code a lot of stuff. There's no way you can print that in line on the printer. Your covers or certain pages in the book and have them UV coded and still keep the whole thing collated. So a lot of things we were forced to print uncollated because there was additional finishing work on each individual piece. Everybody wants, I want this UV coated. I want plastic backs. I want tabs, and you got some people that want Mylar on the tabs. You got all these things that now you can't run it all in line, which is forcing you to hand collate, which that's where this machine comes in, and it's really great.
So are you seeing some improvement then in your turnaround time or throughput with the machine doing the collating for you and all these different types of documents?
Yeah, instead of having two people, one person punching and one person spiraling, I just got one person. The machine's punching while they're spiraling. It's a labor saver, no doubt. It's fast. You're not going to outrun it spiraling for one person. And we have an automatic spiraler too. And there's also a sense of when we were hand putting things together, 3 books was messed up. Somebody inserted something off by 1. The machine, it doesn't make mistakes. So there's a confidence level that if you look at your first book, you look at your last book, and everything's in the right spot, then everything in between is in the right spot. You can't do that with people. A machine, if the first book is right, the last book is right, everything in the middle is right.
So you mentioned that you were able to do some jobs that took 2 people to do. Now you do it with 1 person.
Yeah, pretty much all the jobs. If we only had 1 person, they would punch, and when they got done punching, they would spiral. Or we had 1 person punching and 1 person spiraling. Now, it's just 1 person spiraling, and they just hit go on the machine, There's 2 books that we did with tabs, really. The General Fund Budget Book and what they call the Comprehensive Annual Financial Statement. There's a lot of paper pulls, like things are on special paper, this here, that there. Some of it's in color, some of it's in black and white. So those books have always been kind of like, we just piece them together type thing.
How many of those books do you run?
A couple hundred. One of them has 7-bank tabs. One of them has 2 sets of 5-bank tabs. We do a lot of putting front covers and back covers on. We do a lot of finishing work on the covers. So that's kind of been problematic for us. Like the books we're doing today, you can't run that all as one piece, so that's all hand collated. That's 300 books. We had an automated punch. The problem with it is you really can't walk away. It prints blank paper fine, but when we printed, it had print on it, it had a curl and stuff like that. The delivery was like a gravity feed delivery, so you couldn't walk away because sometimes it would just bird nest on you everywhere. Eventually, we started having, as it got older, it would the pick on it. Instead of like this one here feeds 1 sheet at a time, and you have a very controlled set that goes into the punch. And sometimes it would double pick and then it would jam up. And after a while, I guess it bent the frame or something. That's why we looked into getting a new one.
Do you think that you're going to be saving a lot of time and labor costs by having the machine do the collating for you, for example, whether it's front and back or tabs or both?
Yeah, I mean that's why we bought the machine.
Right.
I mean that was the whole draw. Like I said before, if we had to do 1,500 spiral-bound books, we had to sit there and put the front covers on and the back covers on. 99% of our books, UV coating the covers or plastic backs, or there's always something special you're doing to the covers to make them more durable. It doesn't let you just run the whole book inline collating. Yeah, no, before we were doing all that by hand.